For how much I love this movie, I have like zero Beauty and the Beast merchandise. Hey guys, welcome back to Quarantine Queen Ranking. I'm Libby, the Rank Master and head honcho here at Punsy's Palace, so be sure to subscribe down below if you enjoy this content and click the bell notification so you know every time I upload. It's Wednesdays and Saturdays. Here are the ranking rules once again. I only rank official Disney princesses, sorry Maid Marian, I only watch the original movie, and I only focus on the princesses' actions. Princesses can gain and lose points based on how they follow pandemic guidelines, and the princess with the highest score closest to 100 at the end is crowned Quarantine Queen. Now let's head over to beautiful France where we will rank our next princess, Belle from Beauty and the Beast. So we start off by seeing Belle's house on the very edge of town, away from everyone, good, already positioned to be socially distant. Then she greets someone far away, not touching, and at the distance. Very nicely done. She does get close to the bread guy, she's not 6 feet away from him, but he pays her absolutely no mind and they never touch, so just a few points off for closeness. Then she goes into the bookshop and gets close to the bookstore owner. That's not very good, but she never touches him and she only hands him the book she's returning and she picks out her own book. Okay, but then she hands it to him and he gives it to her while putting his arm around her, escorting her out. So not great. And then when she walks away, she does pat a little girl on the head, but the little girl is wearing a little bandana and she only pats her on the fabric on her head, so a few points off. And she does get some points for going through most of the town without touching anyone. The book is kind of like her own little face mask and she's nose deep in it, so good job there. And she does get some points for singing to animals and talking to animals. You thought she wouldn't because all of her friends are objects, but she sings to the sheep at the beginning and later she talks to her horse Philippe, so yeah, she's just like her predecessors. Points. But then in this next sequence, she does get very close to people. She doesn't interact with any of them and avoids them pretty well, but she's very close to a lot of people. Then Gaston comes and invades her space and takes her book. Rude. It's not totally her fault though. I mean, he is wearing gloves, but it is a little unsanitary to pick your book out of the mud. Thanks, Gaston. But we actually see her clean it off, so good on you, Belle. But then when she goes to check on her dad, his invention is giving off some bad fumes and it makes her start coughing because she's breathing them in. So that's not good, not fun. But one of her dad's other inventions is this cool gadget where you can see who's at the front door before opening it. So very good for social distancing. And she keeps her distance from Gaston when he's trying to propose to her by literally backing away from him all over the place. See, social distancing keeps you healthy and keeps you away from hypermasculine creeps. And she cleans her book again, thanks Gaston. And she is able to do a good job of getting Gaston out of her house without him ever touching her. Pretty awesome. Not only that, but she only comes out of her house when she knows that he has left. Very good social distancing. Then she goes on to sing about wanting more than this provincial life and wanting adventures out there somewhere. So such great quarantine spirit. Then we move on to the Beast's castle. And all of the people in the castle are clean. The Beast and his servants. Because they've been quarantined there for 10 years. But then Belle comes in. And though she's been pretty distant from people in the town because everybody thinks she's odd, she still does interact with some of them and she still does barge into the castle. I mean, she is looking for her dad, so she's not totally like Snow White barging into the cottage and just made a mess of things, but she does walk in unannounced, minus points for that. And she does touch her poor, sick father's hands. Sad, but not good. And he also coughs on his hand and then touches her hands again. This is why we cough into our elbows, people, so this doesn't happen, and she gets minus points for that. But she does promise the Beast that she will stay imprisoned forever, so that's something. And she quarantines herself on her first night there. Well, kinda. She doesn't go to dinner with the Beast and instead goes to interact with objects later. And all of her interactions with the objects of the house are kind of a moot point since they're all very clean and very sanitary because they're all servants and still doing their jobs. So her interactions with them don't count against her since they're all objects, not people, and also they're hygienic objects. So her interacting with them instead of the Beast for dinner equals points. Then she faces the Beast again after going into the Forbidden West Wing, which isn't forbidden because it's unsanitary like going above the surface for Ariel, only forbidden because the Beast got some secrets. And when she faces him, she keeps her distance and runs away from him. Again, good social distancing. And when he saves her and she puts him on the horse to go back to the castle, we never see her put him on the horse. So I don't know how she did that or how it happened. So we're just gonna skip over that detail. She does clean his wounds, which is kind of gross, but she is cleaning them and that's pretty sanitary, and she's acting like a nurse, and I'm not gonna deduct some points from somebody being like a nurse in a quarantine situation, so points. Then we go on to the song Something There, and the beast does touch her hands a little. That's a little minus points. And she does let a bird rest on her finger. But during this song, Something's There, we see that she's been at the castle for at least a few days at this point. But then after the song, it skips forward, who knows how long? So we don't really know how long she's been there. But we can assume it's been like at least like a week or so. We can say that her interactions with the beast from this point on are fine, since she's been isolating with him and interacting with him and not going out anywhere. Plus we see the beast gets a bath, and we can assume that Belle also got a bath, so points. And she's wearing gloves. And then again, another thing I don't want to knock, because she's doing something good, but she saves her sick father from the snow, and he has been traveling around, and he was around all those people in the tavern, but it is her father, and he is sick, so only like a few points down from that. But she does earn some points quickly back because she basically nurses him back to health. A true quarantine queen is a nurse helping the sick, so good on you. But then comes the scene with Gaston, and she gets knocked down quite a bit here. She opens the door to a strange man, then she puts her hands on the strange man, then she puts her hands on Gaston, and she does push him away after that, but she pushes him away by touching his face. And then she's standing in a mob, an angry mob, so kind of quarantine. And she's not really close to people, but it is still a mob, and oh, never mind. She starts touching people to get through, so. But then she does get locked away in a cellar, which is pretty quarantine, so points for that. Then it gets kind of fuzzy, because she comes back and she holds the beast's hand for a very touching moment, but the beast was just fighting Gaston, who's a stranger to him, and Belle was just tending to her sick father. So like, I don't know, down 1 point? But then she cries on him, and she doesn't blow her nose on him, Huntsman, but she does sound a bit sniffly, so just like a few points down. And then it gets fuzzy again, because he gets all sparkle dusted, turning back into a human. I don't know, I feel like magic is very powerful and kind of sanitizes things, because he looks all clean and pretty afterwards. So when they share their like intimate moment and their kiss afterwards, like maybe that's okay. And they both get sparkle dusted when they kiss. So I'm just gonna say it's fine. From here on out, magic is like hand sanitizer. Cool? Cool. And they end on a strong note by dancing very far away from everybody. You can't touch royalty, and also they borrowed the animation from Sleeping Beauty, so I'll borrow the points from Sleeping Beauty. So Belle from Beauty and the Beast ends with a grand total of 65 points. Pretty awesome job. Alright. She was doing really well at the castle and at her house, and if it wasn't for Gaston, she probably would have done a lot better. Thanks, Gaston. So that puts her in 3rd place, right behind Aurora, and way above Ariel and Snow White. And congratulations to Michael for guessing the amount correctly. Yes, he is my fiance, but he has no idea how many points I give these people. And congratulations to Angela for guessing the placement correctly. Our next princess we are ranking is Jasmine from Aladdin, so to get featured in the next video, be sure to leave a comment down below with how you think she will do. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe down below for more Disney content. Until then, farewell.